I was cruising down the street, fuck deep. Three bitches, one yabba on me. In the yabba might well be feet. Cause it got two orange in some feet. Cause it wake up in the morning and it eat. I love my chopper and I think it love me. Probably cause I let that bitch do what it please. Call her hitters cause he gon' shoot free.
This is back with another one. Listen, today we got JxmyHighroller. The NBA is rigged. Now, the NBA is rigged. I don't fully believe that the NBA is rigged, but I believe some moments in the NBA are very sus. Understand? The refs. I honestly believe the NBA has the shittest refs in like sports history. Some people say it's the NFL. I don't watch the NFL, so I wouldn't know about that. But the NBA is bad, bro. It's bad. Basketball's still cool though, so we still watch it. But I just believe that refs need more repercussion. There needs to be more repercussions for their mess ups, for their fuck ups, because they get away with too much shit. They get away with not doing their job properly too much. It's like an NBA players they get fined for the littlest shits. It's like you got refs ejecting niggas for laughing on the bench. Not even players in the game. You got them getting ejected for showing emotion after a dunk, for celebrating after a dunk, after dunking on somebody, stare downs, literally anything you can think of. Like, bro, who was it? Was it Anthony Davis? Bro got ejected for tying his shoes. Anyways, I think this is a hot take video, so we're gonna see what hot takes Jimmy's gonna bring to us today. Let's get into it. The NBA Finals is really just a matchup between a barista and a horse racer. Okay, that's the ball. Damn, Heat in 6. If the Nuggets win the 2023 NBA championship, they will have beaten 3 playing teams: number 7 Lakers, number 8 Timberwolves, and number 8 Heat, and a lost cause number 4 Suns. The weakest ring in professional sports history. I won't lie. That's so weird. That's actually insane, bro. That's insane. Because if the Nuggets win, if the Nuggets win the NBA championship, which they're going to, they're probably most likely going to, say 99% sure, it's going to be seen as one of the weakest rings in NBA history based on who they beat to get to the finals, who they beat to win. But if the Heat somehow manage to pull off a 3-1 comeback and win, which will be a miracle, that will be seen as one of the greatest rings in NBA history. Seeing as they crawled their way back through the play-in. They beat the number 1 seed in the Bucks. They then beat the Knicks, who beat the Cavs, and that's a good team. That was a really good team. And then they beat the Celtics, which was the number 2 seed, I believe. And then they go on to beat the number 1 seed Denver Nuggets. That's insane, bro. As the number 8 seed. Laurie don't do nothing but have a big booty and get in the way. I won't lie, that's true. That nigga is ass.
The good old hot take. The necessary evil of the sports world. Through the good ones, the bad ones, and the downright atrocious ones. We once again find ourselves racking our brains, trying to figure out how some people come up with this nonsense. But today, I've done the brain racking for you and found some of the hottest NBA takes on the internet.
Okay.
NBA Finals Edition.
Let's go.
So buckle up. This may be a bumpy ride. Today's video is sponsored by
No free ads.
With the NBA Finals upon us, I
Yo.
thought to myself, what better time to take a look at some hot takes?
One of the more-
Per usual, I
the more
immediately regretted
underwhelming
this decision,
finals
but
in
it
NBA
had
history.
to be done. So let's jump right in. Now, our first take has been around for decades.
That's just
and
due to Bam Adebayo putting up a fucking stinker every single game. No other player knows how to hoop on the Miami Heat. Bench his ass. Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic are putting up 30-point triple-doubles every other game, every single game. The Miami Heat didn't stand a chance, to be honest with you. They didn't.
Regardless of how insane it is, fans continue to say that the NBA is rigged and scripted. And to that I say, what?
Yeah.
First of all, reality is stranger than fiction. The best way to create incredible, captivating moments in sports would be to not script them. You think some dude rigged Kevin Durant eviscerating his calf in front of tens of millions of people? Or what about the Nuggets just sweeping the Lakers? Wouldn't it make infinitely more sense to allow most series to go into 6 or 7 games for more revenue?
Exactly.
We had a very real chance at a Celtics-Lakers finals this season. In what universe do the script writers not choose that outcome?
So-
I wonder what Chris Paul thought when he got the script and saw that Luka Doncic was gonna walk him like a dog on his way to his 87th second-round exit.
Damn.
The NBA was truly rigged.
Lol. Yeah, I just paused this to say, fuck CP3.
Why on earth would the most lucrative franchise in the
It's
league have
It's really
virtually
the
no
dumbest take
success over
to
the
say that
last
there's an
20
NBA
years?
script
Oh,
because every time you ask them to explain, they don't know what to say except it's rigged, it's rigged. You're just saying it's rigged because your favorite team's not winning. That's it.
your team is one of the 29
Blame your
teams
team
that
for
didn't
being
win a
ass, bro.
championship this season. It
What?
couldn't be that they just weren't good enough.
Exactly.
It's because the basketball overlords didn't have it in the script. The biggest suspicion comes from the way refs officiate the games, handing out more fouls to one team than another, making odd calls during crucial points in the game. And believe me, brothers, I'm right there with you. If I had $1 for every suspect call I saw in an NBA game, I'd
be
have
a
enough money to
millionaire,
start
bro.
my own franchise to complain about.
Exactly.
But that's just the nature of sports.
That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes things go
It's not the fact that it's rigged. It's just the fact that the refs are very, very... Oh, bro. The refs are not good at their job.
your way. Sometimes they don't. As much as we would like for refs to be mindless robots who get every call correct, they're human, just like us, and they make mistakes. This guy says the NBA is colluding to get the Lakers into the playoffs. Well, then I guess the NBA also colluded to get them swept in the conference finals. I know it's tough to watch your team lose, but of all the excuses we can make as fans, can we please stop resorting to this one? This is a bad take. Now, this next take comes from my man Bill.
Like, I guarantee you, if it was your team that was winning all the bullshit, winning everything, went to the finals, won the championship, you're winning, it was a dynasty, you would not be saying the NBA is rigged. You would not be saying that. That's why, like, you can't take that claim seriously. You can't take that take seriously at all.
Who had this to say about this year's
NBA is
Nuggets
rigged until it's your
This
team that's
Nuggets
winning.
team is the best team I've seen in person in 5 years since the 2018 Warriors. Not just better, but really probably beats anybody the last 4 years.
Nah,
Now, when I first heard this, I thought that can't be true.
nah,
But
it's true.
it actually might be. Of course, there's no way to know for sure, but going back through the last 8 teams to make the NBA Finals, the 2023 Nuggets do
Okay, let's see. 2019 Warriors. I can see the Nuggets winning against them. Raptors definitely. Both both team 2020 Lakers, most definitely getting demolished. It's literally the same. It's not the same team, but let's just say the team's not. It's not any better than the Lakers team they faced this year. The Heat, yeah, they beat them too. Perhaps, yeah, definitely. 2021 Bucks, yeah, I say I have a good chance. Actually, yeah, most definitely. Suns demolished. Nuggets in 4. The Warriors, yeah. Celtics, yeah.
Who look like possibly the best team. Now, this is all just an opinion, but I think this year's Nuggets team would have beaten the 2022 Celtics and Warriors. They would have beaten the 2021 Suns and
Facts.
the 2020 Heat, and
Facts.
they would have probably taken down the 2019 Raptors.
Facts.
The two teams that I think are debatable are the 2020 Lakers and the 2021 Bucks. But if we look at some postseason metrics from these teams, the Nuggets are on pace to being the best team since the 2019 Warriors. In the moment, it may not feel like it, but this Nuggets team is incredible. They beat a loaded Suns team that had the most lethal two-man offensive game in the NBA. They swept a
most lethal two-man offensive game in the NBA. That is cap, bro. It was just mid-range city from the both of them, from Devin Booker and KD. It's like both of them will get 30, will get like 30 points, but what will the rest of the team have? Nothing, because the rest of the team is ass, including CP3. That nigga sucks. That nigga is shit. He'll take the ball one time, like he'll be the team will be up like 10 points. It's 2 minutes left. It's like 2 minutes, 1 minute left in the game. He'll grab the ball. Take a mid-range shot. Boom. That's his third bucket of the game. Bro has 6 points. He be acting like he's Michael Jordan. You just hit a game winner. He got 30 points. He just hit a game winner. Trash ass nigga, bro. That's what CP3 is.
Lakers team
That's what
that beat the
CP3 is.
defending
Nigga
champs,
sucks,
and they've
bro.
done it all in historic fashion. The 2023 Nuggets may just be the best team since the 2019 Warriors. The eye test backs this up, and the stats do as well. Now, this next take comes from a fan who says that if the Heat become the first team to win a championship as an 8 seed, it automatically becomes the greatest playoff run in NBA history. Well, let's look at some of the greatest, or rather improbable, playoff runs throughout the league's history. The 2011 Mavericks are considered by many to have the greatest playoff run of any team. As a 3 seed, the Mavs beat a 48-win Blazers team. They beat the reigning champions in the Lakers and Kobe Bryant. They beat a young 55-win Thunder team, but most importantly, they beat the Miami Heat and their Big Three in 6 games. A series in which everyone and their mother thought Miami was going to win. But one of the most overlooked runs was back in 1995 when the Houston Rockets won an NBA championship as a 6 seed, currently the lowest seed to ever win a title. If some of y'all aren't familiar with this playoff run, it's almost hard to believe what this team pulled off.
Isn't that the year like Hakeem Olajuwon won? He won MVP, he won Defensive Player of the Year. So he had the scoring title as well, I think. And he won Finals MVP as well. Yeah, that nigga was on a tear, bro.
Because on their way to a championship that postseason, Houston beat a 60-win Jazz team with Malone and Stockton, a 59-win Suns team with 2 All-Stars in Charles Barkley and Dan Marley, a 62-win Spurs team featuring the league MVP in David Robinson, and a 57-win Magic team with Shaq and Penny. A few years ago, I made a video on the most difficult championships ever won, and the Rockets title in 1995 was ranked number 1. In fact, if we add up the total amount of regular season wins from all the teams the Rockets beat that postseason, we get a whopping 238 wins. Compare that with the 2011 Mavericks and this year's Heat, as well as some other metrics, and it's clear that the Rockets had a much more difficult path to a championship. But the 95 Rockets did have a solid squad surrounding Hakeem, with players like Clyde Drexler, Vernon Maxwell, Kenny Smith, Sam Cassell. This was a good team. The 2023 Heat, however, have absolutely no business even being in the finals. It's literally Jimmy Butler, Bam, and the undraftables.
It's Jimmy. It's just Jimmy. Forget Bam, bro. That nigga is, I don't know what that nigga's doing. That nigga's playing like ass. It's just Jimmy. It's Jimmy Butler and maybe Caleb Martin sometimes. That's it.
Even the Mavericks in 2011 are a criminally underrated team. They were the 3 seed going into the playoffs with 57 wins. They had an awesome core of players, and they were easily one of the best teams in the league that season. They just had to make it past the heavy favorite to win it all. This year's Heat team was never favored in the postseason. From the very first series, they were expected to get sent home, and 2 of their core players have virtually sat the entire playoffs. So between the 1995 Rockets and the 2023 Heat, it's close. The Rockets had a more difficult path, but the Heat were expected to have absolutely no chance at all. You could make a great argument that if the Heat win a championship this year, it would be the greatest playoff run in NBA history. And so this is a good take. And our last take comes from the legend himself, Mike Breen. During Game 1 of the NBA Finals, Breen had a take about Nikola Jokic that some people didn't really appreciate. And one of those people was in the booth with him.
You marvel at his complete game. He passes like magic. He rebounds like Moses. Shoots like Dirk.
Rebounds like Moses? Are you
Moses Malone?
I know. You want to check yourself?
Now, Mike
What do you
Breen
mean you
has
want to check yourself? Guy's been having like damn near 20 rebounds, averaging 20 rebounds this entire playoffs. You want to check yourself. Do you read the stat sheet, dummy? Niggas just like to disagree without actually like assessing the facts.
watched a lot of basketball. He knows the game, and as much as this take seems like a reach, is it really?
No.
Breen says that Jokic shoots like Dirk, which is about the highest praise a big man can get, and the numbers support this. Well, kind of. On short jumpers, Jokic is historically efficient. Both Dirk and Jokic are equally as deadly with their long jumpers, and Dirk is a noticeably better three-point shooter. But there's context missing here, because Nikola Jokic only shoots 39% of his shots from outside 10 feet, whereas Dirk shot a whopping 77% of his shots from outside 10 feet. As efficient as the Joker is, Dirk is the gold standard for a shooting big. Breen also said Jokic passes the ball like magic. And sure, Jokic isn't the engine to the most exciting show in all of basketball, but in terms of moving the rock and getting open looks for his teammates, Jokic does pass like magic.
God, that
but in terms of moving
pass
the
was
rock
nasty.
and getting
Holy
open
shit.
looks for his teammates, Jokic does pass like magic. In my opinion, Magic Johnson is still the greatest passer the game has ever seen. Jokic isn't quite that, but if you were to give your top 5 passers in NBA history, who would be on your list? Magic, Steve Nash, LeBron James, Chris Paul, Jason Kidd. Maybe you got John Stockton, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas. But Nikola Jokic is undoubtedly in this discussion. And the last comparison that Breen gave was that Jokic rebounds like Moses Malone. And this is where Mark Jackson really lost it, as if the statement was a massive reach. Because it kind of is. Moses Malone was a 6-time rebounding champion, arguably the greatest rebounder of all time. Moses had an 8-year stretch where he averaged
Listen, as a man, I know when to admit that I'm wrong. I was wrong. My fault, Mark.
15 rebounds a game. Jokic can rebound with the best in the league, but he's not quite the board-grabbing machine that Moses was. So, in Breen's defense, Jokic can almost pass like magic, he's nearly the shooter Dirk was, and he's not quite the rebounder Moses Malone was. So, although it's a bit of a stretch, I do like this take. But unfortunately, that's all the racking my brain can handle in one sitting. But y'all know the drill. Leave a comment with your hot take, and as usual, the hotter, the better. Or worse.
Indeed.
Hope you all enjoy it. And as always, until next
The harder to take, the more there is to talk about. W video.